Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm reviewing the book The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. Get ready for an exceptionally detailed and in-depth summary that walks you through every twist, turn, and psychological nuance of this intense thriller. The Housemaid begins by introducing us to Millie, a young woman with a troubled past. Recently released from prison, Millie is struggling to find a job and a place to live. She's been living in her car, feeling hopeless and desperate. Just when things seem bleak, she gets a surprising opportunity, a job as a live-in housemaid for the wealthy Winchester family. This job offers her a chance to get back on her feet. She'll have a stable income and a place to stay, a dream come true for someone in her situation. But as Millie soon learns, not everything is as perfect as it seems. The Winchester family appears to have it all. They live in a huge, luxurious house that's a symbol of their wealth and success. But as Millie steps into their world, she starts to sense that something isn't right. The family is composed of Nina Winchester, her husband Andrew, and their young daughter, Cecilia. On the outside, they seem like the perfect family, but it doesn't take long for Millie to notice the cracks in their facade. Nina Winchester, the lady of the house, is an intriguing and complex character. She seems perfect, always impeccably dressed, calm, and in control. But Millie quickly realizes that Nina's behavior is far from normal. Nina is unpredictable, swinging from kind and friendly to cold and cruel in an instant. Millie finds herself walking on eggshells around her, never knowing what might set her off. The tension between Millie and Nina grows as the story progresses, creating an atmosphere of constant unease. Andrew Winchester, Nina's husband, is a mysterious and aloof figure. He's polite, but there's something off about him. He seems distant, as if he's always thinking about something else. Millie feels uncomfortable around him, sensing that he's hiding something. Andrew's cold demeanor and the way he interacts with his family make Millie suspicious of him from the start. Cecilia, the Winchesters' young daughter, is another key character in the story. She's quiet and reserved, almost too well-behaved for a child her age. Millie notices that Cecilia seems nervous and afraid, especially around her mother. It doesn't take long for Millie to suspect that Cecilia is being emotionally abused by Nina. The tension between mother and daughter adds another layer of complexity to the story, as Millie tries to protect Cecilia while also dealing with her own fears. The Winchester house itself plays a significant role in the story. It's a grand, imposing structure with many rooms, some of which are off-limits to Millie. The house is a symbol of the family's wealth, but it's also a place filled with secrets. As Millie explores the house, she begins to feel a growing sense of unease. There are strange noises at night, locked doors that she's not allowed to open, and a feeling that someone is always watching her. The house, with its dark corners and hidden passages, becomes a character in its own right, representing the dark secrets that the Winchesters are hiding. As Millie becomes more entangled in the Winchester family's world, she starts to uncover the disturbing truth about them. Nina's erratic behavior is not just due to stress or mental illness, it's a symptom of something much darker. Millie discovers that Nina has a history of psychological instability, and her marriage to Andrew is far from the perfect relationship it appears to be. Andrew, who initially seems calm and reasonable, is revealed to be controlling and manipulative. He uses his power and wealth to dominate Nina and keep her under control. The dynamics between Nina and Andrew are toxic, with both of them playing mind games to maintain control over each other. Millie's position in the household becomes increasingly precarious as she delves deeper into the Winchester secrets. She realizes that she's not just a housemaid, she's a pawn in a much larger game. Both Nina and Andrew see her as a tool to be used in their battle for control, and they begin to manipulate her in subtle and not-so-subtle ways. Millie finds herself caught in the middle of their power struggle, unsure of whom to trust and increasingly fearful for her own safety. The novel's tension reaches a boiling point when Millie discovers a locked room in the house. This room, which she's been explicitly forbidden to enter, becomes a symbol of the Winchesters' hidden lives. Millie's curiosity gets the better of her, and she eventually manages to get inside the room. What she finds there is shocking and horrifying. The room is filled with evidence of Nina's mental breakdowns and Andrew's abusive behavior. There are journals detailing Nina's descent into madness, as well as photos and documents that paint a picture of a family on the brink of collapse. Millie is horrified by what she discovers, and she realizes that she's in grave danger. The Winchesters will do anything to keep their secrets hidden, and Millie has become a threat to their carefully constructed facade. As Millie tries to figure out a way to escape the house, the tension between her and the Winchesters reaches a breaking point. Nina becomes increasingly paranoid and unstable, convinced that Millie is plotting against her. Andrew, on the other hand, sees Millie as a potential ally in his quest to control Nina. He begins to manipulate her, using her own fears and insecurities against her. Millie finds herself trapped in a web of lies and deceit, unsure of whom to trust and how to protect herself. The novel's climax is both shocking and satisfying. Without giving too much away, the final confrontation between Millie and the Winchesters is a masterclass in psychological suspense. The twists and turns in the plot keep the reader guessing until the very end, and the resolution is both unexpected and fitting. Freida McFadden has crafted a story that is both thrilling and thought-provoking, leaving the reader with lingering questions about the nature of truth, power, and control. In the aftermath of the novel's events, Millie is left to pick up the pieces of her shattered life. The experience has changed her, and she is no longer the naive and desperate woman who took the job with the Winchesters. She has seen the darkness that lurks beneath the surface of seemingly perfect lives, and she has learned the hard way that trust is a dangerous thing. The novel ends on a note of ambiguity, with Millie reflecting on the choices she has made and the person she has become. The Housemaid is a gripping and suspenseful novel that delves deep into the complexities of the human mind and the darkness that lies within us all. It is a story about power, control, and the lengths people will go to protect their secrets. Freida McFadden's writing is sharp and engaging, and her ability to create tension and suspense is unparalleled. This is a novel that will keep you on the edge of your seat from start to finish, and it is a must-read for fans of psychological thrillers. But there's so much more to this story, so let's dive even deeper into the characters, their motivations, and the intricate plot that makes The Housemaid a standout novel in the psychological thriller genre. Now, let's explore Millie's backstory in more depth. Millie is a character with a troubled past. She grew up in a rough neighborhood and didn't have many opportunities in life. She made some bad choices, which eventually led to her spending time in prison. This experience left her scarred and struggling to find her place in the world. When she gets the job with the Winchesters, it seems like a chance to start over. But as she becomes more involved in their lives, her past comes back to haunt her. Millie's past is revealed through flashbacks and her inner thoughts. We learn that she had a difficult childhood, with an absent father and a mother who was often too busy to care for her. Millie fell in with the wrong crowd as a teenager, leading to her involvement in petty crimes. One mistake led to another, and before she knew it, she was serving time in prison. This experience hardened Millie, making her wary of trusting others and constantly on guard. Her time in prison also taught her how to survive in difficult situations, skills that would become crucial as she navigates the treacherous dynamics within the Winchester household. When Millie is released from prison, she faces the harsh reality of trying to reintegrate into society with a criminal record. Despite her efforts to find work, she's met with rejection after rejection. Employers are unwilling to give her a second chance, and she's forced to live out of her car, scraping by with whatever odd jobs she can find. The opportunity to work for the Winchesters seems like a lifeline, finally, a chance to rebuild her life. But as Millie soon discovers, the job is anything but a straightforward housemaid position. As Millie begins her work at the Winchester home, she tries to stay positive, determined to make the most of this opportunity. She throws herself into the household tasks, eager to prove that she can be reliable and competent. However, the eerie atmosphere of the house quickly begins to take its toll on her. There's something unsettling about the place, the way the shadows seem to move in the corners, the strange noises that echo through the halls at night, and the locked doors that she's forbidden to open. Millie's instincts tell her that something is very wrong, but she tries to push these thoughts aside, focusing instead on doing her job well. One of the most disturbing aspects of Millie's job is her interaction with Nina Winchester. From the very beginning, Nina's behavior is erratic and unsettling. One moment, she's friendly and kind, offering Millie tea and chatting about trivial matters. The next, she's cold and hostile, snapping at Millie for the smallest mistakes. Nina's unpredictability keeps Millie on edge, never knowing what to expect. It soon becomes clear that Nina's behavior is more than just stress or mood swings. There's something deeply wrong with her. Nina's instability is further revealed through her relationship with her daughter, Cecilia. Millie notices that Cecilia is extremely quiet and withdrawn, always keeping her distance from her mother. There's a palpable tension between them, and Millie begins to suspect that Nina's treatment of Cecilia borders on abuse. Cecilia is often punished for small infractions, and Millie overhears Nina berating her in harsh and cruel terms. The way Nina controls and manipulates Cecilia is chilling, and Millie feels a growing sense of responsibility to protect the young girl from her mother's wrath. As Millie spends more time in the house, she starts to piece together the troubled history of the Winchester family. She learns that Nina has a history of psychological issues, including bouts of depression and anxiety. There are rumors that Nina has been hospitalized in the past for her mental health, but the details are murky. Andrew Winchester, who initially comes across as the calm and rational member of the family, is revealed to be a much more sinister figure. He's controlling and manipulative, using Nina's mental health struggles to exert power over her. Andrew's cold and calculating nature becomes more apparent as he begins to take an interest in Millie, drawing her into his twisted games. Andrew's interest in Millie is unsettling from the start. He's polite and courteous on the surface, but there's an undercurrent of something darker in his interactions with her. He begins to isolate Millie from the rest of the household, finding reasons to keep her close to him. At first, Millie is flattered by the attention, seeing it as a sign that Andrew trusts her. But as time goes on, she realizes that his interest in her is far from benign. Andrew is playing a dangerous game, using Millie to further his own agenda and deepen the rift between himself and Nina. One of the most intense moments in the novel comes when Millie discovers the locked room in the house. From the moment she arrived, Millie was warned to stay away from certain parts of the house, particularly the locked room at the end of the hall. This room becomes a symbol of the secrets the Winchesters are hiding, and Millie's curiosity about what's inside grows stronger every day. She can't shake the feeling that the key to understanding the family's dysfunction lies behind that door. Eventually, Millie can't resist the urge to investigate further. She waits for a moment when the house is empty and manages to break into the locked room. What she finds inside is far worse than she could have imagined. The room is a shrine to Nina's madness, a place where she has collected evidence of her husband's infidelities and betrayals, along with her own spiraling descent into paranoia and obsession. There are photographs of Andrew with other women, pages from Nina's journals detailing her fears and suspicions, and disturbing drawings that suggest Nina's mind has been unraveling for some time. The discovery of the locked room is a turning point in the novel. Millie realizes that she's in over her head, caught in the middle of a war between two deeply disturbed individuals. Nina's paranoia and instability have made her a danger to herself and others, while Andrew's cold, calculating nature means he will stop at nothing to protect his secrets. Millie understands that she's no longer just a housemaid, she's a witness to the Winchesters' darkest secrets, and that makes her a threat. Millie's fear for her own safety grows as she tries to navigate the increasingly dangerous situation. She knows that if the Winchesters discover that she's been snooping around, her life could be in danger. The tension in the house escalates as Nina's behavior becomes more erratic and Andrew's manipulations become more overt. Millie is trapped, with no one to turn to for help. She's isolated from the outside world, cut off from friends and family, and increasingly dependent on the Winchesters for her survival. As Millie's situation becomes more precarious, she begins to formulate a plan to escape. She knows that she can't simply walk away. Andrew and Nina are too powerful and too dangerous. She needs to find a way to outsmart them, to turn their own games against them. But this is easier said than done. The Winchesters are masters of manipulation, and they've been playing these games for far longer than Millie has. Every move she makes seems to be anticipated by Andrew, who is always one step ahead of her. The climax of the novel is a tense and gripping sequence in which Millie confronts the Winchesters with the truth she has uncovered. Armed with the knowledge of what's been happening in the house, Millie tries to use the information as leverage to secure her freedom. But Andrew and Nina are not so easily outmaneuvered. The confrontation quickly spirals out of control, leading to a shocking and violent conclusion. The power dynamics that have been simmering beneath the surface throughout the novel finally explode, leaving all three characters forever changed. In the aftermath of the confrontation, Millie is left to pick up the pieces of her shattered life. She has survived, but at a great cost. The experience has left her traumatized and scarred, with lingering doubts about her own sanity. The final scenes of the novel are haunting, as Millie reflects on what she has been through and what she has lost. The ending is deliberately ambiguous, leaving the reader to wonder about Millie's future and the lasting impact of her time with the Winchesters. The Housemaid is a masterful psychological thriller that delves deep into the darkest corners of the human mind. Freida McFadden has crafted a story that is both suspenseful and thought-provoking, exploring themes of power, control, and the ways in which people manipulate each other to get what they want. The novel's complex characters and twisting plot keep the reader engaged from start to finish, making it a standout in the genre. As we conclude this in-depth review, it's clear that The Housemaid is more than just a simple thriller. It's a story about the masks people wear, the secrets they keep, and the lengths they will go to protect their facades. Millie's journey from a desperate ex-convict to a woman who takes control of her own fate is both inspiring and terrifying, reminding us of the power dynamics at play in our own lives. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of Freida McFadden's The Housemaid. If you enjoyed this summary and analysis, please consider subscribing to BookBank's Summaries for more content like this. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with others who might be interested. Until next time, happy reading!